I wore a headband for over 6 years straight because I was afraid of people seeing my forehead. I've started businesses when I was a teenager selling clothes, customizing shoes, and I was so afraid of seeming cringy to my friends that I never told anybody about it. And then they ended up failing because I couldn't really get no sales. I was so embarrassed of how I looked that from the ages of probably 12 to 18, you really can't find much pictures of me, especially with friends, because I never wanted to take pictures with people because I always felt like I looked ugly or I wasn't cute. So much so to the point where I used to be like, oh, I'll take the picture, y'all, even though it was my friend group. Or I literally multiple times have deleted pictures of me and friends inside of their phone because I didn't want them to post it. I say that to say now at 24 years old, I have over 100,000 followers across multiple social media platforms. As you guys can see, I no longer wear a headband and I'm a lot more open about the things that I do. I did that from getting out of the fear of being seen. Your fear of being seen is holding you back in more than one way, in more than one category, and it's holding you back from your potential. And trust me, I know because I realized how much it affected me mentally, physically, pushing my hairline back, and so many other things. So in this video, I'll talk to you guys about how to get over your fear of being seen. First, you have to answer the question, what are you afraid of being perceived as? There's something that's holding you back in starting that thing or doing that thing that it's an outside perception that you're afraid to have, whether it's you're afraid to be being seen like you're broke, you're afraid of it being seen that you're, struggling, you're afraid of it being seen as if you are cringy. What is it that you're afraid of people viewing you as? And it's very imperative to understand it is a perception. It doesn't necessarily mean what you're going through. So for example, people will keep you care so much about perceptions that you rather keep that up than keep up reality. We see all the time with celebrities, right? You will see the celebrity, they have all this money, they're wearing all this designer, all this other stuff, and in a couple months it come out that this celebrity owes so and so amount of money. They owe $60,000 in rent, $80,000 and all this other stuff. Why? Because they were so worried about the perception. They didn't want to seem like they were struggling or they were broke, so they had to keep buying the clothes. They didn't want to seem like they didn't have the money, so they had to keep buying the expensive, dinners and posting it and all these different things. And I want you to ask yourself, what perception are you afraid of? Because at the end of the day, there's people out here right now, there's like, oh, I want to invest in that business and I really want to start that business, but I don't have the money to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Oh, so you want to keep up perceptions because you're afraid to tell your friends you can't afford that trip right now. You're afraid to tell your friend you can't go to her birthday dinner. You're afraid to stop going out with people and spending money because you don't want people to perceive you as being broke, right? You don't want to post on social media because you don't want people to perceive you as being cringy, right? Because it's just their perception of you. If you don't think that about yourself, then it's just their perception. The problem that comes is that we internalize people's perception of us. So if a lot of people perceive us as being cringy, we just assume we must be cringy, right? Because that's what people perceive us as. If people perceive us as being bad, we assume we're bad. And so I think you need to answer with a specific word. I'm afraid of being perceived as blank. The next step, ask yourself, what are you going to lose if people perceive you as that thing? Because there is something you think you're going to lose. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't think I'm going to lose something. You do. Because that's what's keeping you back. Because if you didn't think you were going to lose something, you would have just did it. So maybe you do think you're going to lose Instagram followers. Maybe you do think you're going to lose respect. Maybe you do think you're going to lose, friends. What is it specifically that you think you are going to lose by people perceiving you this way? Whatever it may be. And it needs to be a specific word as well to compare the two, right? Now, the last question I want you to ask yourself is, what can you gain if this thing goes right? Outside of perception, because as we know, perceptions can change. Outside of people's opinions, because opinions can change. What can you gain from doing this specific thing that you're holding yourself back from? Whether it's getting 1 million followers on social media, whether it's starting that business, whether it's getting inside the gym. Because a lot of people have this mindset of, oh, well, it's gonna cost me $600 to invest in that company and that business, and what if I lose the $600? But then you look on the flip side And if it goes well, you can be making $600 every 2 days. So you have to really ask yourself, what's higher? That little bit of money you want to keep in your pocket, that little bit of respect, that little bit of friendship that you want to keep, or really look at it for what it really is? Or is the thing you can possibly gain higher? And a lot of times it is. And the perfect thing about this is that this takes out opinion, this takes out perception. You're literally saying, what are you losing and what are you gaining? And a lot of times what you're gaining is a lot higher. Finding out what you're specifically risking is imperative with your fear of being seen, because a lot of times people say things like, oh, well, you're risking this future life and you're risking this future business and it's a lot of hypotheticals. Now you literally could look at a piece of paper and look any single day, every single day, and be like, you know what? This is what I'm risking. I'm risking this specifically. It's not a hypothetical. It's not a better life. It's not a better car. It's specifically, I am risking making $600 every 2 days. I am risking losing 20 pounds. I am risking losing $100,000 a year. I am risking, that's what you're risking losing. Because a lot of times when you look at the loss on the other side, the perception loss, it's not real. It's all hypothetical. It may happen or it may not. But at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. You will see time after time individuals who keep doing things and they stay consistent and they do it, and it's happened before. It's not like you're the first person that's going to grow on social media. It's not like you're the first person that's going to start going to the gym. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to stay consistent and you can get these things. But you're never going to get it if you keep focusing on people's perceptions of you. So if you're trying to get over people's perceptions of you, one of the first things you have to do is get people out of your head. I tell y'all all the time, limit your use on social media. I am currently taking like my regular Instagram social media detox. I know I tell you about it all the time, so not gonna go into it too much. You need another Instagram in which you are not seeing people every single day that are not doing things that you want to do, that are not motivating you, that are not putting you in the right headspace. If you are not going up, you are going down. Do not think, oh, this is regular, this is normal for me. No, that means you're going down. That's how you need to look at life. If I am not progressing, I am digressing. So I say that to say, if you are on social media, but you also should limit it, only follow people who are doing things that you want to do, that are motivating you, people who you are seeing and you perceive as doing things that you want to do. Because if you're following people and you're perceiving them as doing other things, you're perceiving them as being one way or that way, of course it's not going to fit for you. Of course it's not going to make sense what you want to do because you're watching everybody else do something different. So of course to you it's going to feel wrong. And when you're asking yourself, like, or trying to explain to yourself, like, should I do this? I don't know. Because, right, we go back and forth. We get into a banter with ourselves. Should I do this? I don't know. Should I do this? I don't know. I want you to talk to yourself as if you are someone you love. Talk to yourself as if you are your little sister. Talk to yourself as if you are your friend. Talk to yourself as if you are somebody that you care about. And they are coming to you with this idea. They are coming to you with something that they're going through. What would you tell them? And they're telling you, yeah, but I don't want people to perceive me as being cringy. I don't want people to perceive me as being ugly. What would you say to them? Because a lot of times we treat other individuals better than ourselves. And the root of that is that when we judge ourselves for our entire existence. We think we judge ourselves for a particular situation. Oh, I'm afraid to start this business because, I could risk a lot of money and, that could mess me up. I'm afraid to, post on social media because people are going to think I'm cringy and, my coworkers going to say this about me. No, you're afraid to post on social media because you quit cheerleading when you were 12 years old. You're afraid to start that business because you remember what you did when you were 15 years old. You're afraid because you remember how you stayed in that toxic relationship for too long and you knew you should have left. A lot of times we think it's in the moment. We think it's like, oh, I can't do this thing because, right now. No, you're judging yourself for your entire existence. And you don't think you deserve it as a person. And so who you are, your idea of yourself is only based upon how people perceive you. Because when it comes to how you perceive yourself is not good. When it comes to how you perceive yourself is not loving. And so you allow other individuals' perceptions to make up who you are and to embody who you are. And I want you to understand you deserve it. If not you, then who? One mistake does not define your entire life. Yeah, you might have money may be low right now, but it's not going to be forever. I want you to think about Jay-Z. Think about Oprah Winfrey. There were time periods in which those two Black billionaires were broke. by society standards, didn't have no money. And if they define themselves by that particular moment, if they define themselves about the things that they might have done that they're not proud of, the things they might have went through, they would have stayed in that position forever. But these ain't millionaires. These ain't thousandaires. They're billionaires. So I say that to say, stop thinking that you are defining yourself by the things of your past. Create a new life for your future and talk to yourself as someone that you love. Talk to yourself as someone that you care about, because there's stuff your little sister did and you knew that wasn't right. It's stuff your friend did and you knew that wasn't right. But when you talk to them and they say they want to do something, you wouldn't discourage them. You would encourage them. So do the same thing with yourself. And I want you to understand that your parents are not going to sign you up anymore. A lot of us don't understand that we are adults. It's up to us to provide ourselves with new experiences. It's up to us to do things and not worry about what other individuals think about us or what they might say about us, because we are the new adults. When you are a child and it's time to start a new sport or go to a club or take swimming lessons, the reason why it was so easy to do it as a child, not only because we didn't judge each other as much, but because our parents signed us up to do it. And a lot of us don't realize we are our new parents. This is your body. You have control over it. The same way your mom forced you to go to summer camp, you didn't want to go to summer camp, but then you end up loving it and it was good for you. That's the same thing you have to do with your fear of being seen. You're going to have to put yourself in situations that you may not know, but if you don't do it, nobody else will. If you don't start, nobody else will. Nobody's going to push you to do anything anymore. We are the new adults. You are your new parent. You have to push yourself and force yourself, and you get what I'm saying, and do things that are new and do things that are different. Because if you don't, you know the life you're going to get. Acknowledge that. Like, a lot of people try to make it seem like, oh, I don't know what my life is going to be. And I don't know. You know what's going to happen if you stay in that job. You know what's going to happen if you keep going out every single weekend. You know what's going to happen if you don't post on social media or you don't move to that new place. You're going to live the life that you have now. What's the difference? But you have the opportunity to do different. You have the opportunity to live a life that's different. And worst case scenario, I always tell people, you always could go back to your old life. Like, that's another thing too. Like, I don't know about y'all, but it's so many sports that I started and I quit, and I just was like, this is not for me. And yes, I spent money on my mom, spent money on them. And yes, I tried them and I didn't like them, but at the same time, I can say I don't like something. You get what I'm saying? I could say, and I didn't have the fear of people perceiving me as a quitter or people perceiving me as somewhere that way, because I knew who I was. And if they had a problem with me, they had to talk to my mama. But I say that to say, we are our new parents. You have to take care of you. You have to fill into your cup. And you have to understand that people's perceptions of you don't matter. Half people nowadays don't even love themselves, but that's a whole nother video. You have to love you enough. You have to care about you enough. You have to trust you enough to know that, you know what, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I got me. These people don't got me. These people aren't worried about me. These people don't love me. I love me. So no matter if this is the best experience of my life or this is a learning experience, I'm going to bounce back from it because I trust me. So I don't know, it was a bit much. But thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please go into the comment section below or the caption below and sign up for my new newsletter. I'm coming out with a newsletter and I will be posting all things self-growth. I'll be giving you guys reminders on when I post new videos and so much more. And I also have something special coming in June. So sign up because you'll be the first to be alerted by that. Thank y'all and have a great one. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for new videos.